Welcome back to the Reconnection Podcast. In our last episode, Dr. Michael Barta helped us understand trauma and how developmental wounds can shape our nervous system, our relationships, and our sexually compulsive behaviors. Today, we're taking the next step. What does it actually take to heal? What is required if someone genuinely wants recovery from sexual addiction or sexually compulsive behaviors? Joining us again is Dr. Michael Barta. Dr. Barta, thanks for being here.
Thanks again for having me. And I'm excited that we're talking about this because everybody wants healing. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants their pain to stop. But very few people want to talk honestly about what healing requires. It's not perfection. It's not willpower. It's not another promise. It's honesty.
So, why is honesty the first step?
Because healing can't start until denial ends. And the first step of healing is admitting that your behaviors are creating serious problems in your life, not minor inconveniences, not occasional mistakes, serious problems. And the truth is that most people struggling with sexual addiction or these compulsive behaviors know they have it and have problems long before they're willing to admit it. They know it when they hide. They know it when they lie. They know it when they promise themselves and others that they'll stop. They know it when they break their own values, when they know damage is being done. But instead of facing it, they're going to negotiate with it. They minimize it, they rationalize it, and they tell themselves, it's really not that bad. I can stop whenever I want. Or they try calling it something else, right? Or they say, this is the last time. Or I don't really need help. But deep down, every one of us, every one of these people know. And many of us, if not all of us, know that we're addicts long before we finally admit it.
So, why is denial so powerful?
Well, because denial is what's protecting us from pain. If I admit I have a problem, then I have to face consequences. I have to face the truth. I have to face the damage I've caused. I have to face what my behavior is costing me. And that's very painful. So again, we're going to deny, we're going to minimize, we're going to justify, we're going to blame, and we're going to hide. We're going to do everything possible to keep the addiction while convincing ourselves that we're still in control. But addiction always takes more than it gives. It always ends in loss. It ends in damaged relationships, broken trust, isolation, misery. And for some people, unfortunately, it's going to end in death. And that's just the reality of addiction. Not because addicts are bad people, but because addiction is progressive. And if it's left untreated, it's going to continue to grow.
You often talk about the importance of naming the problem honestly. Why is that so important?
Well, again, what we refuse to acknowledge, we're never going to be able to heal. And at some point, we're going to have to be willing to say, my sexual behaviors are creating problems, right? My sexual compulsive behaviors are hurting me. These behaviors, these sexual behaviors are hurting the people I care about. That doesn't mean we hate ourselves. It doesn't mean we're broken. It simply means we're willing finally to tell the truth. And one of the things I see all the time is people trying to find another explanation so that they don't have to face what's really happening, right? They call it stress. They call it loneliness. They call it relationship problems. They call it anything else but accepting what it is. But healing begins when people are willing to stop running from reality. And the goal isn't shame, the goal is honesty.
Okay, so you mentioned shame. Why is there so much shame around sexual addiction and sexually compulsive behaviors?
Because our sexual behaviors touches probably the deepest parts of ourselves. It's very personal, right? You have a problem with your sexual behavior. If someone says that to us, what we feel is, well, there's something wrong with me. But those aren't the same thing. The behavior is you're not your identity. It's not your worth. It's not your character. And yet, a lot of people, if not all people with this problem, carry tremendous shame around it. And what's interesting is that we're surrounded by sexual content everywhere, right? It's in movies, it's in television, advertising, social media, it's in all entertainment. Our culture is saturated with it. Yet, the moment someone admits they're struggling with this behavior, they often feel completely alone. We feel completely ashamed, completely isolated. That's why so many of us stay hidden, not because we don't want help. It's because we're really afraid of being judged.
So, what would you say to someone listening who knows they have a problem but still feels afraid to face it?
Well, I tell them that they deserve to heal. You deserve more than a life built around secrets. You deserve more than a life organized around temporary relief. And you deserve more than constantly managing urges, hiding behaviors, or fearing that you're going to be discovered. What we really deserve is peace. We deserve freedom. We deserve full connection. But healing has to begin with honesty, not honesty with your spouse, your therapist, your support group. It starts with honesty to yourself. The moment you stop arguing with reality, then your healing can begin. The moment you stop pretending, healing can begin. And the moment you start minimizing, that's when your healing can begin. Because healing doesn't start when the behaviors stop. Healing starts when the denial stops.
Thank you, Dr. Barta. Today, we discuss what it really takes to heal, why honesty is the foundation of recovery, how denial keeps people stuck, and why acknowledging a problem is often the first step toward lasting change. In our next episode, Dr. Barta will explain the difference between sobriety and recovery and why stopping a behavior is only the beginning of the healing process. If today's conversation resonated with you, visit drmichaelbarta.com to learn more about his monthly Reconnection intensives. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Reconnection Podcast.